Every year, we invite someone to be our keynote speaker. And in the past, we've had people like Senator Rob Portman. We've had people like Congressman Brad Wenstrup, Congresswoman Jean Schmidt. We've had former Secret Service agent Jim Myers speak. Every one of our speakers is someone who shares a message that's really poignant. And I'm always amazed when I introduce these people at what amazing things they have done for our country, our state, our city. This morning is absolutely no exception. I was reflecting on Senator-elect Terhar when I was reading his bio, and I thought, you know, isn't it amazing how for most of us, it's absolutely magnificent if we can point to one or two things which we've done really well in our lives. You know, you reflect back 60 years and you say, wow, I was really proud of this. I really felt like I made a difference. Well, when I tell you about Lou, you're going to hear about a person who, if I told you he were three people accomplishing all that he was done, you would be hard-pressed to believe it. So here you go. Let's start. First of all, he graduated from Elder High School. It's on the other side of the sauerkraut curtain. He went on to graduate from the U.S. Naval Academy. He earned an MBA from Syracuse University. Then he earned a Master of Liberal Arts degree from Harvard University. Lou served in the U.S. Naval Reserve, retiring with the rank of commander. And for those of you who are in the Army, Air Force, Marines, that's like a lieutenant colonel. I keep having to translate Navy ranks in my own mind. Lou didn't stop there. He pursued a career in business. As a business person, he is currently the managing director of a strategic planning firm. He's been the president of the Indian Motorcycle Company, makers of quality, large motorcycles. He's been the president of a division of Nucor Steel Corporation. Lou has also served on the boards of community organizations like the Dan Beard Council of the Boy Scouts of America. He's a trustee of the Altoria Fund for Cincinnati Elder High School. Amazing guy. And 4 years ago, he ran for state representative, knowing that we need gifted, talented people at every level of government. He won a seat in the Ohio House of Representatives. On Tuesday, Lou, by a slender 67% to 33% majority, won a seat in the Ohio Senate. Lou represents the city of Blue Ash, and basically everything from here to Indiana. A big job, an important job, and in a job which our speaker, I think, is uniquely qualified to serve in an amazing way. So without further ado, I would like to introduce State Senator Lou Terhar.
Good morning, everybody. It is truly an honor to be here with you. I was sitting there thinking that for all the veterans in the crowd, all of us have been places where the weather was never this nice, but it's always relative. I'm a member of the VFW Post 10380 on the other side of town, and at one meeting I was saying, you know, I never get too cold. After sitting through the monsoons on the Mekong, you never get through cold. And an older gentleman next to me said, son, you weren't the chosen reservoir. It's called getting perspective. He was absolutely correct. Let me express my sincere thanks to the City of Blue Ash, Mayor Shirwanka, the City Council, and especially Lieutenant Colonel Rick Bryan for inviting me to be with you today. It's an honor for me to participate in this wonderful ceremony and to recognize our veterans. Again, I'm Lou Terhar, Commander, United States Navy, retired. My purpose today is to try to provide a little insight into what a veteran is, and why he is who he is. First, I'd like to acknowledge all the veterans here today. Veterans tend to identify themselves by the conflicts in which they participated. I'd like to honor that tradition this morning. First, those known as the Greatest Generation. They fought in Europe, North Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific, from well south of the equator to the Arctic Circle, in the skies over and on and under the seas, in all of those theaters of war. Please make yourself known, all the veterans of the World War II era. Thank you. Next, those known as the Forgotten Generation, who fought in the heat and dust of the Pusan perimeter, the incredible cold of the Chosin Reservoir, the massive amphibious landings at Incheon, and the seas surrounding Korea, and the air over Korea. Please welcome the Korean War era veterans. The veterans who served in the long and sometimes hot periods of the Cold War, in and under the oceans, in the air, and in places like the Fulda Gap in Germany, the demilitarized zone in Korea, the peacekeeping missions in Lebanon, Bosnia, and a dozen other places. They lived in holes in the ground in remote places in the United States with only ballistic missiles for company. Please welcome the veterans of the Cold War era. Next, we honor the Gulf War veterans of both wars and the subsequent current war on terror. Most Americans know the actual combat operations, but few are fully aware of the intelligence and cyber warfare issues and the continuous special operations and troop deployments, especially in Afghanistan, that this effort demands. Please welcome the Gulf War and War on Terror veterans. Finally, I would like to introduce the veterans who fought as bravely and well as all of their brothers and sister heroes, but were at best shunned and at worst reviled when they returned home. They fought the Siege of Khe Sanh, the Tet Offensive, the Battle of Hue City, the Mekong River, the Ia Drang Valley, Operation Market Time, and the continual air war from the sea, Thailand, and Guam, the continuous search and destroy missions that took men all over Vietnam. These men served honorably and well. Welcome home, brothers. Finally, please remember those veterans who are prisoners of war and missing in action, and particularly their families, some of whom still wait. In the introduction, we noted that veterans had experiences and had developed skills that set them apart from their civilian counterparts. These characteristics make veterans brothers and sisters in arms, no matter what service era they come from. Please watch them today, how they interact, and what mutual respect they show one another, regardless of race, color, creed, national origin, or lifestyle orientation. Veterans, especially combat veterans, know that in difficult situations, the only one you have to depend on is your buddy. A person's value is measured by his willingness and ability to do the job and the level of dedication to the members of his or her team, period. When your life is at stake, little else matters. Veterans understand true teamwork. Some missions are tougher than others. Some missions are terrifying. A veteran knows that fear is no shame as long as he holds the fear in check and does his job. Accomplishing the mission, no matter how dangerous, is a mutual goal. Veterans are goal-oriented, and they've learned to control their emotions in tough situations. A veteran understands that true courage is simply the command of your own fear and the performance of your job under stress. Veterans, by the nature of the job, realize that they must give up some of their individual desires for the good of the team. They also understand that there is a system of who's in charge, and that system allows for transfer of leadership instantaneously when required. Veterans understand you must know how to follow before you can be accepted as a leader. Veterans are respectful of people because of what they've done, not what they say. Some don't understand that veterans wear ribbons and medals, and some find that kind of humorous. I'll bet that sounded great in 1943. If you were on the ground, you were looking for those guys. Again, veterans are respectful of people because of what they've done, not what they say. Some who don't understand find wearing ribbons and medals a bit humorous. For us, it's just wearing your resume, so that those who do understand know where you've been and what you've done. Veterans respect sacrifice and service. So it is clear that veterans are different, and that difference is a result of the experiences and accomplishments that their comrades understand. Recently, there's been some debate as to whether or not veterans have been damaged by their experiences. All veterans are permanently changed by their experiences. Some do suffer from them. The facts show that those who suffer post-traumatic stress syndrome are a much greater danger to themselves than anyone else. This is a situation where all veterans must meet the challenge by falling back on all the things that they've learned in the service. For me, the greatest lesson is that in the final analysis, when the situation isn't pretty, we all fight for each other. We all need to do that now. Today in the United States, a veteran takes his own life every 66 minutes. Although veterans make up less than 10% of the population, they account for well over 20% of the suicides. You know, there's a story in World War II in Guadalcanal, when the Marines were on Guadalcanal, that the Japanese put up one bomber every night and mistuned the engine so the Marines couldn't sleep. I think he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, we need your help. A veteran is most able to recognize the symptoms of another veteran in trouble. Please be aware of those veterans around you that seem to be acting differently. Remember, the average age of a veteran suicide casualty is 60. The Vietnam veterans are killing themselves. The next largest group of vets where suicide is a grave risk is women veterans after discharge. A female veteran is 2.4 times more likely to become a victim than her civilian counterpart. Our veterans need help, and you can help them. The statistics show that those who receive professional help, either from the VA or elsewhere, show a dramatic decrease in self-harm. You can help them heal. Get them to treatment. Call the VA, the County Veteran Service Office, or the State Department of Veteran Affairs. Working together, we can save our brothers and sisters in arms and allow them to enjoy a full, long, and healthy life. To the citizens of Blue Ash, who have obviously a wonderful school system because the young people from Green did a wonderful job of expressing the essence of the day, I challenge you to find one veteran, either here today during today's activities or elsewhere, and ask your child to spend time to do research about the events that that person was involved in. Not the detached electronic video game stuff, but the real history with real people who suffer real losses. I hope that, having had that experience, Your children will get a window into how vets learned what they learned and can benefit from those lessons without actually experiencing it themselves. I share Mayor Sherwanka's hope that another statue never has to go on this plaza. Thank you for your kind attention. Happy Veterans Day to all veterans here, across the country, and around the world. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.